9 months ago, I launched my SaaS. I actually launched it on this channel. I showcased the launch there, my exact strategy to acquire users, and all the ups and downs that came with the initial launch. And then a few months ago, I stopped uploading. My last video was talking about the car I purchased. Now, there is a reason for that, and I will get into that in this video. But primarily, what I want to update you on is how my SaaS is doing. I'm going to break down all the ups and downs for the past 9 months, explain to you what works very well with this SaaS, what I would change, and also what are some of the negatives of the approach I took, and those negatives we're still suffering from now. But I'm going to tell you my solutions that are going to try to counter these problems. So overall, you're going to see my personal strategy really critiqued in this video, and you're going to get the best version of it. So not only can you surpass the results I've gotten, but also not spend 9 months of your time trying to get them. This video is going to be very useful. I have a ton to cover. Let's get into it. On my analytics, and as you can see, within 9 months of launching my SaaS, I've gotten over 3.2 million users. And I'm going to explain exactly how I was able to do this, what my strategy was, and also what I would change. And more importantly, if you can actually analyze a strategy I'm going to outline in this video and understand what I have done wrong and what I can do better, you're going to be able to take this strategy, apply it to your own SaaS, and undoubtedly get traffic and validate your ideas quicker. So the first thing to point out here is that you can see there was a bit of a downtrend, and then we went ahead and scoot back up more traffic, and now we're kind of starting to stabilize. Now, at first glance, you would think that surely the traffic here was able to then be compounded, and then we can build on it, and the graph should be heading upward. Now, this is one of the main problems with this approach I took for this particular SaaS, although it allows me to get traffic quite easily. And keep in mind, the traffic volume I'm talking about, we're still talking about 26,000 users a day. We're talking about 24,000 users a day. So by no means it's a small amount of traffic, but it's very hard to compound because of the reason I'm about to mention. So this SaaS leverages existing audiences, meaning I go to existing niches with businesses and creators within them, and I find ways to integrate my solution to help them monetize better. Now, very simply, they send their audience through the actual tool. So I go ahead and leverage all the traffic they send, we monetize that, and that's how I'm able to accumulate this traffic. Now, the problem with this is that if you're not careful about the niches you choose, you are at the mercy for the current of that niche, meaning every niche has X amount of traffic that flows through per day. I'm going to go ahead and siphon off Y amount of traffic, and with Y amount of traffic, those come from, a number of businesses and creators. But the problem is that creators and businesses churn, they lose motivation, they stop posting, they stop bringing in. So you are essentially on a constant merry-go-round to not only maintain your traffic but also build on it. That's why if you look at this period, we got some of our highest days very early on. Keep in mind, I launched it around June, and we're looking at around September here when I got 40,000 users. Since then, I haven't been able to beat that day. I came quite close in January, I believe, as you can see, but I wasn't able to actually beat the all-time record. That is simply because this all-time day was a combination of a few things. We had tons of people onboarded from the start. They were really excited about the product, and we had tons of viral content going out with our tool integrated. So the thing I would personally change is that instead of focusing on one particular niche and really nailing down on it and then leveraging testimonials within that niche to bring on more people, although that is a very good strategy, and if you are happy with these type of numbers that I'm averaging, if I go to the last 30 days, for example, that'll give you a better idea. So 361, you divide it by 30, you're looking at around, 11k a day, something like that. If you're happy with that type of numbers, then of course that's fine. But going back to my point, very simply, if you go to different niches and split your outreach efforts, you're going to be able to go ahead and pull in different type of traffic, different type of GEOs, and also most importantly, you're not going to be at the mercy of the traffic of one particular niche. Meaning, if one niche is suffering because it's seasonal, or there's a particular time of the year where the niche doesn't perform as well, the other niches can carry the traffic. This traffic, for the most part, 80% of it comes from one niche, 20% of it comes from a mix of different niches. Ideally, if I could go back in time, I would focus my outreach efforts into different niches. Now, with that, you will probably have to cater your features for those particular niches. That's what we had to do for this one. It takes a lot of trial and error to figure out what's right, what's wrong. You have to speak to users quite a lot, but it would be worth the effort because I've diversified the niches I've gone ahead and outreach to. And most importantly, something I do want to talk about that actually allowed me to sustain a lot of growth during that slope period. So if I actually just go ahead and query the data again, one of the reasons why that slope even happened in the first place is that if I go ahead and requery this, you will see it'll pop up in a second. That essentially this slope happened because we actually had one of our droplets get hacked. Now with that, because our tool is integrated into their funnels and they're selling the audience through it, they're completely reliant on it. Meaning if the tool went down for X amount of hours, their audience can't access whatever they're trying to funnel them towards, and that essentially loses their money. Now that is a very, very important relationship to maintain. Of course, we didn't do it intentionally. We set it up the best way we could. But what I would then do in the future, if I were to go ahead and do this, is once I just set up the security, Granted, because of that situation, I have a lot more knowledge when it comes to setting up VPSs. I understand how to leverage virtual private networks a lot better. I would then hire someone to audit the security just to make sure we can maintain those relationships, because we lost quite a few clients here simply because they didn't trust us, and then obviously we brought some people back on. That's what contributes to the upswing, and obviously replace our traffic as well. But going back to my point, one of the main reasons why we were able to sustain a certain level of traffic, like if you see here, we're still getting 10,000 users a day. That isn't a very small amount of traffic. Just retrospectively, it's on the lower end when it comes to this type of traffic, is because we added gamification to the actual app itself. Now you might be thinking, what does gamification look like for a SaaS that targets creators and businesses? Now very simply, if you think about your SaaS or the idea you're working on, there's going to be things you're going to collect on a mass basis, meaning analytics, actions, conversions, clicks, like whatever it may be. Now with that information, because every single user is going to have it, you can introduce gamification to not only allow the users to compete with themselves, that's currently what we do, but also reward the user for X milestones. So adding verification badges, adding certain badges that say, you are top 1% of the users. Now a lot of these creators and businesses probably won't care, but in our particular case, we are offering them money incentives to go ahead and compete against each other. So not only are they getting the benefit of the actual SaaS, but because of the gamification aspect of this particular SaaS, they're able to go ahead and benefit from it as well. This makes the platform feel a lot more interactive, and overall we've seen very good results from it. Now in terms of what I'm doing in the future to go ahead and build on this, we just shipped out a brand new integration that I'm very excited to launch to our users. That's going to go ahead and build on this infrastructure. I had this idea very near the start. It just wasn't on our radar, and I had to make sure I could refine the SaaS so it's in a good position. So I'm very excited to push out that integration. I will of course show you the results from it. Now, just before we go and wrap up this video, I just want to quickly touch on what the future of this channel is, why exactly I had this little hiatus. So as you can see, I was clearly busy during the hiatus. I was only going for around 5 to 6 months. I was working on this. I was spending a lot of time on X. My X is doing quite well at the moment. I've got like 14k followers on there. I spent a lot of time engaging on there, and I dedicated a lot of my time on there just trying to understand the platform and overall focusing my endeavors on there. But now I'm going to have a bigger push towards YouTube, of course X still, and IG and TikTok, just to go ahead and diversify my content portfolio. To be honest, that was my original intention, but I just got super busy and I got caught up, but I'm back to it. My content is going to change. However, you're not going to see more of these story type of videos where I break down analytics. I'll sprinkle it in here and there, but I'm going to focus my efforts on actually educating people how to build apps using AI, because I use AI on a daily basis, and I want to show people how easy it is and also how to do it the right way. I was pretty honest in this video, and I mentioned that there was a mistake here that cost me a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of relationships with users. Now granted, I did build the application with AI, and the application itself was secure. It was more of a droplet issue. Overall, I want to teach people how to approach using AI with applications to overall get the best out. So I hope that clears up where I've been. I appreciate you guys sticking around. I don't even know how many views this is going to get. I don't particularly care. I just want to show you guys, for the people that actually stuck around, like if you go to my channel here, when I first launched this channel and I was talking about growing the app, you can see there were people here that are really interested, and I feel like I owe it to you guys to kind of give you an update, show you what's going on, be transparent, and also show you what my future plans are for the content. So that's going to go ahead and conclude today's video. If you find it useful, drop a like, subscribe if you guys are new, leave a comment down below if you have any more questions, and if you want access to more exclusive resources, you can join my free founders community. In there, I've dedicated resources to helping you on your founder journey. These are resources I wish that I had at the start of my founder journey, and I'm giving them away for completely free. So all you need to do is join at the link down below. I'll see you in there.